You bumped into your girlfriend and another man at a hotel, but instead of getting angry, you offered them contraceptives and told them to practice safe sex. The man did not appreciate it though, and even invited you in to watch. Furious, you stormed into the room, only to find two other guys inside, Wang Durian and Li Rambutan. What the hell are you two doing here? Brother Yuzu, we had no idea your girl was like this. Why do not you join us? Hearing this, instead of being mad, you smiled. No thanks, guys. I am not into that kind of freak show. You were even secretly hoping Lu Mangosteen would get stuck with them forever. The reason you felt this way was because the moment you stepped into the hotel, you awakened a cheat system that lets you see illness monsters on people. And right now, Wang Durian had a massive syphilis monster riding on him, boasting a whopping level 20. At this point, Lu Mangosteen dropped her act and started throwing vicious insults at you. Gyuzu, the 5 or 6 grand you make delivering food every month is not even enough to buy my makeup. Let me tell you the truth. I have been to this exact room 10 times already. After she said that, she expected you to throw a massive tantrum. To her surprise, you were not angry at all. Instead, you sneered inwardly. You filthy bitch. You are in for a world of pain. Have fun. Lu Mangosteen. After leaving the Cloud Top Hotel, you saw a pedestrian coughing non-stop on the street. Above his head floated a level 1 cold monster. Suddenly, a system prompt popped up, asking if you wanted to engage in battle. Driven by curiosity, you selected yes. In an instant, you were transported to another world. Standing opposite you was a white polar bear, with a glowing health bar above its head. Then you noticed you had a health bar too. The bear charged at you. You instinctively tried to dodge, but found yourself completely paralyzed. After taking a hit, a red 10 popped up above your head. Immediately after, the cold monster froze in place. You realized you could move again, so you instinctively threw a punch, right at its head. Its health dropped by 12. This was a classic turn-based combat system.
You traded blows back and forth
until your health was down to just 10 points. The cold monster's health hit 0, and it crashed heavily to the ground. Battle concluded.
You gained 10 XP.
Level up. You are now level 2. Congratulations, host. Inventory unlocked. Equipment stash unlocked. Congratulations on defeating the level 1 viral cold monster. You obtained the skill, Fortitude. The scenery suddenly shifted, and you were back on the familiar sidewalk. The pedestrian who was coughing his lungs out was suddenly completely cured. It seemed defeating the monster cured the corresponding disease, and you got rewarded for it too. If you opened a clinic right now, you would be filthy rich in no time, so you started checking out other pedestrians. But to your dismay, all of their illness levels were 50 and above. Coronary disease monster, heart disease monster, uremia's left general. These were monsters you absolutely could not mess with right now. It seemed these incurable diseases of modern medicine were far beyond your current capabilities. Your top priority was to level up as fast as possible. Then, you thought of the perfect farming spot, Renee Hospital. You decided to head back to Splendid Mansion to rest up first. But in the hallway, you bumped into your gorgeous landlady. Shockingly, she was suffering from breast cancer. Catching such a disease at her age, what a damn shame. But what did this breast cancer army vanguard mean? Whatever, you would figure it out later. A level 10 virus monster was too much for you right now anyway. You should make time for a hospital checkup. You blurted out before hurriedly escaping into your room. Lou Starfruit was stunned. She had indeed been diagnosed with late-stage breast cancer. How on earth did Kyuzu know? Upon entering your room,
you saw your best bro, Chen Quince.
He was carrying several different diseases, but the most eye-catching ON was the flaccid monster. This guy bragged to you every single day, but it turned out he was shooting blanks. For the sake of your brother's happiness, you decisively initiated combat with the flaccid monster. Your opponent was a limp, squishy earthworm. The combat system remained the same, turn-based and straightforward, without any suspense. You easily won the fight. This time, the monster dropped a machete. Congratulations, host, you obtained a piece of equipment. Equipping the machete grants plus 15 attack power. Battle concluded. You returned to the real world, completely unaware of what had just happened. Chen Quince suddenly felt his lower half lighten up. Linging, he suddenly felt his lower half lighten up. He suddenly felt his lower half lighten up. It felt like it was bursting with newfound power. Brother Yuzu, wanna hit up Dream Paris bathhouse later? My treat. Ha ha ha. Go by yourself. I'm not going.
Suit yourself.
I will go alone. The next day you arrived at Renee Hospital as planned. Suddenly, a familiar voice echoed behind you. We already broke up. Why the hell are you stalking me? It was none other than Lu Mangosteen. Turns out, when she woke up today, she found a bunch of little bumps down there. They were itchy and painful. So she came to the hospital for a checkup. Ha 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 ha. The syphilis monster had struck. You wondered if the other 3 had caught it too? Right on cue, a furious roar echoed from nearby. Li Rambutan. It was totally you, you bastard. Everyone knows you mess around all the time. Use your brain for a second. It definitely came from Lou Mangosteen. She is a famous town bicycle. You watched the drama unfold with a silent, knowing smirk. Only you knew that the true source was actually Wang Durian, because his syphilis monster was a whopping level 20. You strolled over to the group, ready to offer some comfort. Actually, this disease is not that scary. As long as you take your meds on time, exercise regularly, keep yourselves calm, and eat nutritious food, you will just die eventually. After dropping that bomb,
You turned and walked away smoothly.
leaving the three of them shivering in terror. Later, you arrived at the pediatrics department and kicked off your leveling journey. Level 1, Gluttony Monster Detected. Initiate combat. Fight. Fight. Just like that, you farmed monsters in the hospital all day. Your level skyrocketed to 7. Your equipment slots were filled with gear, and your backpack was stuffed with meat dropped by the monsters. The inventory had one massive perk. Time inside, it was completely frozen. So there was no such thing as an expiration date. The only downside was that living creatures could not be stored. In addition, you acquired a golden skill book. Golden Needle Acupoint Pierce. It had the effect of relieving pain and restoring vitality. After learning it, you headed back to your apartment to rest. In the hallway, you ran into Liu Starfruit again. She immediately insisted on treating you to dinner, so you grabbed Chen Quince, and the three of you headed to an alleyway BBQ joint. But just as you arrived, Liu Starfruit's condition flared up. She collapsed to the ground in excruciating pain. It hurts so much. Looks like this is the end for me. Seeing this, you immediately thought of the golden needle skill you learned earlier. You instantly pierced 3 of her acupoints with silver needles. Liu Starfruit's complexion improved dramatically in seconds. I just temporarily numbed the pain. You should really go to the hospital when you have time. Okay, thank you. After dinner, Liu Starfruit invited you up to her penthouse suite. Stay with me for my final few months, and I will give you this entire apartment building. So you already knew about your condition. Yes. I have never been in love before. So before my life ends, I want to experience a simple, genuine romance. But why me? Because you're grounded.
You are incredibly handsome.
And your acupuncture actually stops my pain. That way, I can spend a little more time by your side. Holy crap, free real estate and a girlfriend. What was there to even think about?
You quickly agreed to her proposal.
At the same time, you silently vowed that you would definitely cure her illness. The next day, you arrived bright and early at Renee Hospital to level up. You grinded for another full day, reaching level 10. You also unlocked a hidden talent, Indestructible Vajra. It permanently reduces all physical damage taken, increases your attack and defense, grants immunity to all status ailments, and regenerates 21,000 horsepower per second. Holy shit! This talent was insanely overpowered. With this talent, you essentially had the capital to challenge higher-level enemies. Eager to test it out, you rushed back to the apartment. You were going to challenge the virus monster on Liu Starfruit. Liu Starfruit was overjoyed to see you. Baby, those 2 needles you gave me yesterday made me feel so comfortable all day today. Do not rush, it is about to get even more comfortable. As soon as you said that, you instantly initiated combat. The breast cancer army Vanguard was a ferocious, colorful tiger with 2,000 horsepower. You gripped your blade and slashed at the tiger. Its health dropped by 250. This talent was truly incredible. The tiger then launched a counterattack, but thanks to your talent, you only lost 20 horsepower. And just like that, you fought back and forth for thousands of rounds.
You successfully slew the Vanguard.
You also acquired the White Tiger Equipment set. White Tiger Equipment passive skill for every level up. Permanently increase all stats by 10 points. Current level 1. Immediately after, beside Liu Starfruit, another level 20 illness monster appeared. Level 20 Breast Cancer Army Centurion. Defeating it will extend Liu Starfruit's lifespan by 2 years. As expected, cancer was not that easy to cure. There was probably a long line of monsters waiting for you, but at least this gave you a glimmer of hope. Meanwhile, Liu Starfruit, oblivious to the battle, felt her body grow significantly lighter. What is going on? Is this the magical power of love? She then took your hand and led you towards the bedroom. After an intense battle, you looked at Liu Starfruit and completely froze in shock.
What the fuck?
A level 100 infertility monster had just popped up. Just what exactly did Liu Starfruit do in her past life to deserve so much suffering in this OAN? Early the next morning, you returned to Renee Hospital, ready to grind some more, but you noticed a sudden influx of security guards. The hospital's revenue had suddenly plummeted by a fifth. Many patients were miraculously cured right after registering. Donick, many patients were miraculously cured right after registering. Onik, the hospital director, suspects someone is practicing medicine illegally here. Donick, keep your eyes peeled today, all of you. At that exact moment, a medical cart rushed hurriedly past you. There's too much bleeding. If we do not stop it now, his life is in danger. Hurry. Inform Dr. Lee to prepare for surgery. Seeing this critical situation, you did not hesitate to step in. First, you used the golden needle skill to staunch the bleeding. The bleeding monster's level instantly dropped from 20 to 15. Then you decisively initiated combat, boosted by the indestructible Vajra talent. Without any surprises,
You absolutely crushed the enemy.
congratulations, host, battle victorious. Reward: Sentry-level massage skill. Just then, the arriving doctor was shocked to see the bleeding had stopped completely. Do not remove this needle during the surgery. It has blood-stopping and pain-relieving effects.
You firmly instructed.
The doctor was highly suspicious, but the surgery was urgent, so he did not argue further. Right at that moment, the patient's family rushed over to express their gratitude because they had clearly seen it, the hospital staff, and they had clearly seen it. Because they had clearly seen it, the hospital staff, and they had clearly seen it. Because they had clearly seen it. It was only after you applied the needle that the patient's bleeding finally stopped. Taking a closer look, you realize the man approaching was your high school classmate, Joe Persimmon. The injured man was his father, the chief of police. He had been stabbed multiple times while apprehending a criminal. Thanks to your timely intervention, he survived. Joe Persimmon promised to treat you to a good meal after the surgery, and you gladly accepted. Afterwards, you went back to your leveling grind. Just as evening fell and you were about to leave, your phone rang. It was Joe Persimmon. His father had been in a deep coma ever since the surgery. The doctor said a second surgery was necessary, but the survival rate was less than 10% in this life or death crisis. He immediately thought of you. Hearing this, you rushed back to the ward. Focusing your vision, you saw it. Level 20 elite monster. Ki and blood depletion monster.
You instantly understood.
The coma was caused by severe blood loss and low vitality. Normally, you would not be completely confident against a level 20 elite, but with your experience from this morning, you knew you could use the golden needle acupoint pierce first to lower the monster's level, so you confidently volunteered to try. But the doctor immediately cut you off. This is ridiculous. You would rather trust some unlicensed quack over our professional hospital? Joe Persimmon shot back. If the hospital can guarantee a 50% success rate, I will leave him in your hands. The doctor's face darkened, and he remained silent. Seeing their silence, Joe Persimmon turned to you and said, "It is all up to you now, Brother Yuzu." You nodded solemnly and began your work. After applying the golden needles to the patient, just to be safe, you also utilized the sentry-level massage skill. Before your eyes, the terrifying illness monster plummeted from level 20 down to 15. You then immediately initiated combat, bolstered by your equipment and talents. You easily dispatched the gorilla-like monster with 2,500 horsepower in just 9 strikes. This battle dropped 5 20-year-old fleece flower roots, as well as an ancient key and blood soup recipe. As soon as the battle ended, the patient finally woke up. Though he was still quite weak, you immediately whipped out the ancient recipe and instructed them to fetch the medicine exactly as written. After drinking the chi and blood soup, the patient's face instantly regained a healthy, rosy glow. Joe Persimmon hurriedly stepped forward to express his immense gratitude. Meanwhile, the attending doctor secretly copied down your recipe. He had already recognized its massive economic potential. What he did not know, however, was that even with the recipe, he could never replicate the chi and blood soup because own crucial herb in it could only be obtained as a monster drop. After resolving the crisis, you quickly resumed your leveling journey. Time was running out for Liu Starfruit after all. As your level steadily increased, intelligence, you discovered that every level up granted plus 10 intelligence. But the required XP grew exponentially. 10. Intelligence, so your leveling speed slowed down drastically. Intelligence 10, so your leveling speed slowed down drastically. After grinding in the hospital for days, you had only reached level 15. From these battles, you also learned that elite monsters had double the stats of normal monsters at the same level, but the stats of a boss monster were still a complete mystery to you. On this particular day, you went to Renee Hospital to grind as usual. Suddenly, a very special illness monster caught your eye. Migraine monster boss level illness monster. Combat available. Holy crap, I can finally fight a boss monster. Without hesitation, you immediately initiated combat. Right at this moment, a system prompt suddenly popped up before your eyes. To initiate combat with a boss-level illness monster, you must first use the golden needle acupoint pierce. What the hell? Why are there prerequisites now? Left with no choice, you pretended to explain to the man that you came from a long line of traditional Chinese medicine practitioners and could use acupuncture to relieve his headache. After getting his consent, you pierced 3 of his acupoints with the silver needles. Then you successfully entered combat. Migraine monster level 10, boss level HP 5000. As expected of a boss monster, a normal monster of the same level would have 1000 horsepower at most. But this boss had 5 times that amount. The enemy launched the first attack. With a loud bang, a 50 popped up above your head. Fierce indeed. Even with your indestructible Vajra talent, you still lost 50 horsepower. If it were a normal monster, it would only deal single-digit damage at best. Now it was your turn to strike. Another loud bang. It seemed this monster was a magic type rather than a tank, so its defense was relatively weak. After a couple dozen rounds, you emerged victorious. It even dropped a Bai's Ring. Bai's Ring passive effect grants healing properties to skills, regenerates 10 horsepower per second. Moreover, your Golden Needle skill also leveled up. It gained a new effect. Suspend life for a day. It preserves the patient's last breath, forcefully extending their life for exactly 24 hours. Can only be used once per person for the next few days. You continued to grind monsters non-stop. However, you still felt your leveling speed was way too slow. After grinding continuously for half a month, you only managed to reach level 18. You had to keep in mind, you were eventually going to face a level 20 boss. You needed to be at least level 25 to stand a chance. At this rate, it would take forever. It would seriously take forever. Just then, a special monster entered your line of sight.
Lucky monster level 50 special monster.
Initiate combat to receive rewards. Without a second thought, you engaged it. On the other side was an obnoxiously pink, stinky pig, standing next to a glittering golden treasure chest. Round 1 begins. You made the first move. A single slash instantly chopped it into pieces. Congratulations, host, you obtained gold tier equipment. Golden coiled dragon armor. Congratulations, host, you gained 50,000 XP. Level up. You are now level 20. Holy crap, this lucky monster was no joke. You hurriedly checked the stats of the Golden Coiled Dragon Armor. Golden Coiled Dragon Armor plus 1000 defense. Golden Coiled Dragon Armor plus 2000 horsepower. Attached skill, Vajra. Increases personal defense effect by 50%. Looking at the Golden Coiled Dragon Armor before you, you suddenly felt ready to throw down with the Breast Cancer Army Centurion. So you rushed back to Splendid Mansion. Upon arriving, you first applied acupuncture to Liu Starfruit to lower the monster's combat power. Then you initiated combat. Standing opposite you was an even fiercer white tiger. Breast Cancer Army Centurion, level 20 boss. HP 20,000. The enemy attacked first. Its massive claws slammed into you, dealing 110 damage. But thanks to your high regeneration and new armor, you actually only lost 45 horsepower. Now, it was your turn. Bang. The enemy lost 2,000 horsepower. 2 hours later, relying on the high block and regen of your new armor, you narrowly secured the victory. Immediately after, a new illness monster spawned beside Liu Starfruit. Breast Cancer Army Millennium Commander, level 30 boss. Defeating it will extend her lifespan by 3 years. You knew it would not be that simple, but at least you could finally catch your breath for now. For most of the following days, you stayed by her side, only occasionally going out to grind levels. Today, you went to the hospital as usual. With just a glance, you spotted a fortune monster in the crowd. Special illness monster, combat available. You entered combat without hesitation. The fortune monster was a majestic golden dragon, just like the lucky monster from before. You shattered it with a single strike. Congratulations, host, you obtained a treasure.
Dragon Pearl.
Effect permanently doubles all current stats. Attached skill, beast taming. Tamed targets will have 100% loyalty, and the pet's overall stats will be tripled. During your previous grinding sessions, you had noticed that some domestic pets had tamable prompts above them. Back then, you did not know what it meant. Now it was clear you could actually tame pets to fight alongside you. And with this beast taming skill, any pet you tamed would be 100% loyal. Ha ha ha. Talk about dumb luck. After finishing your daily grinding,
You plan to drive home?
but halfway there, Joe Lychee called you. Joe Lychee was Joe Persimmon's younger sister, and also the campus beauty from your high school days since you saved her father. She still had a very deep impression of you. Hello, is this brother Yuzu? Yeah, what is up? Lychee, it is like this. I opened a beauty salon in town, and an influencer with over 1 million followers got a face full of acne after a treatment here. Now she is demanding an astronomical amount in compensation. Otherwise, she is going to expose us online. But I know for a fact that there is absolutely nothing wrong with my products. My brother said your medical skills are incredible, so I was wondering if you could come help me out.
You agreed without missing a beat.
Arriving at the scene, you immediately spotted a glaring illness monster on the female influencer, plastic surgery monster, special illness monster, level 5. unfightable. Clearly, she had spent a fortune modifying her body, yet her online persona was all about being 100% natural and having a God-given surgery-free face. You then took the beauty product from Zhou Liqi's salon and smeared some on your own skin. If the product was harmful, the system would pop up a damage warning, but after quite a while no prompt appeared. This proved the product was completely safe. That meant the problem definitely lay with the influencer, Coco Dragonfruit. Taking a closer look, sure enough, she had several other illness monsters on her. Constipation monster, level 10 boss. Combat available. You instantly understood the root cause of her facial acne was these two boss-level illness monsters, causing severe issues, which were simply the direct result of these boss-level illness monsters, causing massive toxin buildup in her body. Meanwhile, Coco Dragonfruit was still threatening to expose them online and demanding a massive payout. Was she completely shameless? The very next second, you bluntly pointed out that her boobs were fake and her nose had a silicone implant. Coco Dragonfruit froze on the spot. She had literally just gotten it done in Korea not long ago. Not even her manager knew about it. Seeing that you actually knew your stuff, she had no choice but to back down. I can drop the whole compensation thing, but you have to cure this acne on my face. You explained to Coco Dragonfruit the root cause of your acne is your chronic constipation, but regardless of the cause, I can cure it for you. Hearing this, Coco Dragonfruit was even more shocked. What the hell? Not even my personal assistant knows about these hidden issues. How did he know? Deal. If you can completely cure me, not only will I drop the matter, I will even endorse this salon for free. To help Zhou Liqi resolve her crisis, you agreed. You took out your silver needles and pierced her face, using the opportunity to initiate combat. Inside the consciousness space, the lion-like constipation monster charged at you with a smack it dealt. Damage, it could not be helped. Bolstered by the Dragon Pearl, your defense had skyrocketed to 7,000. Low-level bosses like this were absolutely no match for you. There was zero suspense.
You secured victory in a single round.
At the exact same time, in the real world, Coco Dragonfruit suddenly felt an apocalyptic urge to take a dump. She clutched her butt and bolted for the restroom. 10 minutes later, Coco Dragonfruit walked out looking thoroughly refreshed. I did not expect a young guy like you to be so capable. She then looked at Zhou Liqi and said, "Do not worry, I will keep my end of the bargain." Having perfectly resolved the incident, you headed back home. But what you did not realize was that at this moment, Zhou Liqi had already developed a different kind of affection for you. After getting home, you started planning to follow Chen Quince's idea and open a hot pot restaurant. The reason was simple. The massive amount of meat dropping from your monster hunts needed a way to be consumed. They needed a way to be consumed. All this meat needed a way to be consumed. You definitely needed a way to consume all this meat. Later, you partnered with Chen Quince to open a hot pot spot called Sichuan Flavor Pavilion. He handled operations while you provided the ingredients. During your free time, you would hit the hospital to grind levels. Until Onde, Joe Persimmon invited you to a class reunion. As soon as you arrived, everyone started sucking up to Zhou Persimmon because his police chief father had just become a hot candidate for secretary of the Political and Legal Affairs Commission. Only own person at the venue actually approached you to say hi. It was the class beauty and Fig. She was own of the few genuine friends you made during your school days. But a second later,
You froze?
because you saw something horrifying on her. A despair-inducing illness monster. All's Army Vanguard. Level 10 boss. Combat available. You knew exactly what the words amyotrophic lateral sclerosis meant. You could not be clearer on the subject. Getting this disease was basically receiving a premature death sentence without a shred of hesitation.
You initiated combat.
A level 10 boss was a total joke to your current self. Congratulations, host, battle victorious. You obtained the skill Kidney Deficiency Punch. Skill type, active. In combat, decreases the target's attack and defense by 20% for 10 rounds. As you looked at Infig again, the boss did not stop it, figuring it would only take a minute anyway, so it would not affect anything. But the next second, that man suddenly collapsed to the ground, limp as a noodle. Before the other two could even react, their legs also gave out and they crashed to the floor. That is right, it was you using the Kidney Deficiency Punch on the thugs from a distance. It instantly drained their vitality, leaving them weak and paralyzed on the ground. Your classmates never expected you to have such incredible combat skills. They all looked at you with newfound respect, leaving only your classmate Sun Coconut wailing and bleeding on the floor. Now, all that was left was to call the cops and wait for them to arrive. At this point, someone in the crowd suggested that Joe Persimmon call his police chief dad first, so his dad could lead a team to capture these 3 wanted fugitives. That way, his dad's promotion to secretary would be practically guaranteed. and everyone present at the scene would definitely benefit from the connection, so everyone quickly agreed to get their story straight. By the time you got back to Sichuan Flavor Pavilion, it was quite late. Your restaurant had been booming lately because your ingredients had a unique taste that absolutely could not be found anywhere else. Suddenly, a stranger walked up to you. He introduced himself as Zhou Liqi's brother-in-law, Zhao Jackfruit. But taking a closer look, you noticed these special illness monsters. The guy was carrying a premature ejaculation monster, an impotence monster, a kidney deficiency monster, and a bunch of others. It was obvious his body had been completely hollowed out by booze and women. And the very first thing he said to you was to stay the hell away from his sister-in-law. Ever since his older brother passed away, Zhao Jackfruit had been scheming to get his hands on Zhou Liqi. He even had a concrete plan in motion, but lately she had been getting too close to you, which robbed him of any opportunity to strike. Listen here, kid. If you know what is good for you, stay away from her. Widows always seem to attract trouble, do not they? Hearing this, you simply slapped him right across the face. Motherfucker. Are you trying to tell me what to do? Knocked to the floor, Zhao Jackfruit was completely dazed, a member of the wealthiest family in town. Slapped by a mere hot pot restaurant owner. He tried to get up and fight back, but his body was far too weak and hollowed out, so he could only throw out a threat before scurrying away. Just you wait. I have 100 ways to ruin your life. Early the next morning, just as you woke up, you received an urgent call from Cheng Quince. Brother Yuzu, we have a problem. Some people ate our food and are showing symptoms of food poisoning. You immediately sprinted back to the restaurant, only to find several people throwing up uncontrollably. Diarrhea monster, level 8. Vomiting monster, level 5. Damn, they actually were not faking it. Threat level, low. If you did not have absolute confidence in your meat, you would have actually believed it was your fault. By now, a massive crowd had formed, and there were even reporters present. You realized it was time to step up and show off your PR crisis management skills. You immediately announced to the crowd, you can go to the storage room right now and take any piece of meat to an agency for testing. If you find a single issue, I will reward you with 10,000 bucks. As for these people puking and shitting, we will escort them to the hospital for a checkup right away. If it turns out to be food poisoning, our restaurant will pay 10 times their medical bills and shut down immediately. Hiding in the crowd, Zhao Jackfruit heard this, and he could not hold back a massive, sinister grin. He knew they 100% had food poisoning, because he had personally fed them moldy food at home beforehand to cause exactly this. So, they were all very cooperative with the hospital checkup. But once they got to the hospital, for some inexplicable reason, they suddenly felt their stomachs did not hurt as much. Instead, both of their kidneys were throbbing with intense pain. When the test results came out, Zhao Jackfruit was dumbfounded. The doctor stated that there was absolutely nothing wrong with their stomachs or intestines. Instead, they found that these guys had been indulging way too much and had severe kidney deficiency. Their weak bodies could not handle the nourishment, and it was this severe kidney deficiency that caused the vomiting and diarrhea. Trying to mess with me. That is right, you had made your move. You had just used the system to instantly one-shot their diarrhea and vomiting monsters, and then conveniently hit them with a full combo of kidney deficiency punches. You then spoke up calmly. Kidney deficiency? That definitely has nothing to do with my hot pot, right? Zhao Jackfruit's face turned black as the bottom of a pot. He had no choice but to give up. And just like that, his carefully crafted scheme crumbled to dust. In the very next moment, you ran into someone you really did not want to see. Syphilitic. She had come, looking specifically for you. She found out you had opened a hot pot restaurant that was doing incredibly well. So she came back wanting to rekindle your relationship. She even stated, she claimed she had turned over a new leaf the day you two broke up. Brother Yuzu, did not you always want my body before? I can give it to you tonight. Hearing this, you felt nothing but pure disgust. Taking a closer look, the syphilis monster was still there, accompanied by a genital warts monster and a few others. And surprisingly, there was a green special monster, murder monster, level 3 special monster, unfightable, but this time it was not red. It was green. You completely doubted that Syphilitic had the guts to actually kill someone. So what was this green murder monster? It took you own guess to figure it out. Abortion, and multiple times at that. As expected of the great Syphilitic.
Truly terrifying.
You could not be bothered to waste your breath on her, so you just yelled right there on the street, "Watch out, everyone. This woman has an STD." Hearing this, the crowd immediately scattered and avoided her like the plague. Seeing this, Syphilitic had no choice but to curse under her breath and leave in a huff. Meanwhile, at Zhangcheng First Hospital, many specialist doctors, including the director, were frowning in despair. Hemophagocytic syndrome. This was an extremely severe blood system disease. Even a god would have a hard time bringing him back. The main issue was that the man lying on the hospital bed had a very significant background. He was the helmsman of the publicly listed Shen group, Shen Pomelo, By now he had slipped into a deep coma and his high fever refused to break. Miss Shen, we have tried our absolute best. This woman was Shen Pomelo's biological sister, and Liu Starfruit's best friend, Shen Papaya. When Yuio Starfruit heard about her best friend's brother's condition, she immediately thought of your acupuncture skills, hoping you could go take a look. After arriving at the hospital, you spotted the illness monster on Shen Pomelo. Hemophagocytic Syndrome Monster. Level 40 Elite Monster. Combat available. Defeating it will extend lifespan by 3 years. Seeing this, you could not help but sigh in relief. Thank God it was not a boss monster. Otherwise, you probably would not have been able to save him either. With your current level of 25, fighting a level 40 elite monster still was not a sure bet, but the patient could kick the bucket at any second. Then an idea struck you. You pierced Shen Pomelo with your silver needles. Your level 3 golden needle acupoint pierce had a life-suspending effect. It could preserve a person's life, ensuring they would not die for a full day. Immediately after, the comatose Shen Pomelo slowly opened his eyes. You then wrote down the recipe for the qi and blood soup. Qi and blood soup. You then wrote down the recipe for the qi and blood soup and told someone to fetch the herbs from the pharmacy. After taking it, the patient's condition improved slightly. Although this state could only be maintained for 5 days, 5 days was more than enough time for you to grind a few levels. So you confidently assured Shen Papaya that you could cure this disease, but you needed to go back and prepare. If you had said this earlier, she definitely would have thought you were a scammer. But after seeing her brother miraculously wake up with her own eyes after your intervention, she completely believed in your medical skills. On the drive back, you saw a news report on your phone. The public had already learned that Shen Pomelo had a terminal illness, and the news that he was about to pass away was everywhere. As a result, the Shen Group's stock had completely tanked. If in 5 days, news suddenly broke that Shen Pomelo was fully recovered, then the Shen Group's stock would inevitably skyrocket. So you immediately called Chen Quince, telling him to pull all the liquid funds from the restaurant to buy Shen Group stock. Chen Quince checked the accounts and found there was only 200,000 in cash. A bit short, the next second, you received a transfer of 1 million on your phone. It was from Liu Starfruit. She had also guessed that the Shen Group stock would see a massive surge, but right now, she had zero interest in making money. So she simply tossed you 1 million to play around with for the next 4 days. You grinded monsters like a madman in the hospital. Your level finally hit 28. Additionally, you surprisingly picked up a silver tier weapon, Shadow Battle Axe. Equipping the Shadow Battle Axe grants an extra 50 points of physical penetration. Early the next morning, an emergency call came from the hospital. Shen Pomelo had fallen into a coma again, and his vital signs were dropping rapidly. You rushed to the hospital and immediately initiated combat. The enemy launched the first attack with a heavy bang. Even with the golden coiled dragon armor and the indestructible Vajra talent stacked together, it still managed to deal that much damage. Now it was your turn to strike. Another bang. Relying on the debuff stacks from your kidney deficiency punch, you pulled off a grueling victory. This time the monster dropped a blood-red egg, displaying that it would hatch in 7 days. You tossed it into your inventory space. At the same time, Shen Pomelo woke up on his hospital bed. Seeing her brother awake, Shen Papaya excitedly grabbed your hand. The next second, you saw it right on her. A very unique illness monster. Special illness monster Stone Maiden monster. Level 100 boss. Combat available. This condition referred to a physiological abnormality that made normal marital intimacy impossible. In ancient times, such women were considered cursed. Modern medicine considers it an extremely difficult physiological disease to cure, but in your eyes, it was curable. It was just, you absolutely could not beat a level 100 king tier monster right now, but immediately after, you noticed a line of small green text beneath the illness monster. The Stone Maiden monster carries a dagger that once pierced it, which has a specific countering effect against it. It had to be a special item meant specifically for this boss. But here was the problem. How do I get this item without starting the fight? If I start the fight, I can't beat it. And if I could beat it, what would be the point of getting the item anyway? Whatever, you would figure it out later. By now, the news that Shen Pomelo was out of danger had spread like wildfire. The Shen Group's stock began to climb. A few days later, the Shen stock hit the daily limit up, and the 1.2 million you invested had doubled to 2.4 million. Well-informed insiders learned that the reason Shen Pomelo was brought back from the brink of death was because he had met a miracle doctor. This news spread rapidly through the upper echelons of the business world. What is the most important thing to a person once they have money? Health, of course. Consequently, many business tycoons tried every channel possible to dig up info on this miracle doctor. But ultimately, they all hit a dead end. This was because you and Shen Pomelo had an agreement. The Shen family would block all information regarding you. A tall tree catches the wind. You did not want the spotlight. At this stage, you just wanted to lay low and grind safely. However, to show his gratitude, Shen Pomelo still handed you a check for 1 million. He also expressed a desire for deep cooperation with you. The Shen Group had always wanted to enter the broader health industry and was planning to establish a traditional Chinese medicine industrial park. So, Shen Pomelo asked if you had any ideas. You suddenly thought of your qi and blood soup with a slightly modified recipe. It would still have excellent kidney nourishing and body strengthening effects. It would absolutely be a gospel for men with kidney deficiency. And the key was it could be mass-produced. Shen Pomelo greenlit the project on the spot. The Shen Group would provide the capital and take a 49% stake. You would provide the formula and take a 51% stake. They would set up the TCM industrial park right in your local area, giving you full operational control. At the same time, Shen Papaya would be your point of contact. With this, you officially had a seat at the capital table. After years of delivering packages, you knew that only by sitting at this table could you transform from a pawn into a player and completely change your destiny. 7 days passed. You were now holding that red pet egg in your hands. Its incubation period was over. With a flash of golden light, a small panda-like animal appeared before you. Gold tier pet. Giant panda. Level 1. HP 1000. Attack 100. Defense 500. Skill 1. Freeze. When attacking, has a 10% chance to freeze the target. Passive skill. Damage taken reduced by 30%. Pet shares HP with the owner. Combat only ends when all HP is depleted. Then it was the enemy's turn to attack. This time, the enemy targeted the panda. Bang. 300. Because the panda was a tank type, it was quite durable. Just like that, after hundreds of rounds.
You won the battle.
After the Millennium Commander was destroyed, 68. After the Millennium Commander was destroyed, a new illness monster immediately spawned. Breast Cancer Army Myriad Commander, level 50 Warlord monster. Combat. Defeating it will extend lifespan by 5 years. This was a Warlord tier, even higher than a boss tier, who knew how much its combat stats would jump. This time, the Millennium Commander dropped another new skill, Sleight of Hand, can only be used on illness monsters without initiating combat, grants a chance to obtain an item from the monster.
Good wound. 7 days.
Instantly, you thought of the level 100 Stone Maiden monster on Shen Papaya. Sleight of Hand. You could use this to snag the drop item from the illness monster without having to fight it, so you rushed straight to the TCM Industrial Park in the office. Shen Papaya was sitting primly in her chair. After exchanging some polite greetings, you hurriedly used Sleight of Hand on her. Nice, you snagged something on the first try.
You opened your inventory to look.
A dried banana. What the actual hell was this? Why would a Stone Maiden monster be carrying a banana? What a waste of an attempt. Left with no choice, you had to wait 7 days to try again. 7 days later, Zhoulichi called you. She sounded hesitant, like she had something embarrassing to say. Turns out, her hemorrhoids had flared up. It was incredibly painful, but she was too embarrassed to go to the hospital.
You agreed to help her.
You quickly drove over to Zhoulichi's house. Looking closely, sure enough, there was a familiar sight. Hemorrhoid monster, level 15 normal monster. Combat available after local massage. Now it was your turn to be hesitant. Seeing your awkward expression, Zhoulichi blushed, lowered her head, and asked if it was very hard to cure. And if you needed to examine it first, it can be cured, but it requires a massage technique to promote blood circulation and remove stasis. Hearing that no surgery was required, Zhoulichi was overjoyed. You can massage it however you want. With that, she dragged you into her bedroom. After a series of intense clapping noises, the hemorrhoid monster was perfectly eliminated. Zhoulichi instantly felt immensely relieved. The way she looked at you had completely changed. Suddenly, as if making up her mind, she stepped forward and grabbed both your hands. Little brother, I have liked you for a long time.
I know you have a girlfriend.
Let me be your mistress. Hearing this, you resolutely rejected her. But to your surprise, Zhoulichi did not throw a tantrum. Right. Since that is the case, from now on, let us just stay friends. How about that?
You agreed.
But the very next second, your phone rang. It was Lou Starfruit calling. After hearing the content of the conversation,
You were absolutely furious.
from the call you learned that an uninvited guest had shown up at Liu Starfruit's place. It was from a few years ago, Wang Pataya, the man her elders had arranged a verbal engagement with. Back then, when Wang Pattaya found out Liu Starfruit had a terminal illness, he showed up causing a massive scene, demanding to break off the engagement, but he was stopped by the elders of the family, who told him that once she passed away, the engagement would automatically be cancelled. But now, having heard that her breast cancer was cured, this shameless bastard actually had the nerve to show up and demand marriage. Hearing this, you immediately sped towards Splendid Mansion. You wanted nothing more than to chop this animal into a million pieces. Upon arriving, you immediately spotted it. The man was completely covered in a dense swarm of illness monsters. Among them, an illness monster in particular caught your eye. Level 100, Special Illness Monster. Combat available. Holy crap. AF. Holy crap.
What the fuck are you looking at?
Seeing you staring at him, Wang Pattaya could not help but roar at you. I am here for my wife. It is perfectly justified, saying that he shoved a bank card toward you. As for the time you have spent with her, I will compensate you. There is 5 million in here. Consider it your breakup fee.
Take it and get the hell out.
You had heard Liu Starfruit mention this Wang Pattaya before. Wang Pattaya was a notorious local bully in Liu Starfruit's hometown, Anping County. Relying on his family's wealth, he had absolutely no bottom line. You could say that ever since Wang Pattaya became an adult, the entirety of Anping County had not had a single peaceful day. There were plenty of villagers who just could not take it anymore, being oppressed day in and day out. But after all, no one wanted to get their whole family killed over it, and everything happened exactly as you predicted. Right before your eyes, Wang Pattaya's face turned completely blue. He clutched his crotch in agonizing pain and collapsed to the floor. He could not stop. He kept twitching violently. Holy crap! What just happened? How did he get cured? Seeing this, Liu Starfruit covered her mouth and asked, "Third brother, what did you do?" Hearing this, you immediately played dumb. How would I know? I am no miracle doctor. Seeing that your goal was achieved, you quickly dialed for an ambulance. You did not want this animal getting off the hook so easily by dying right here. And just like that, facing Wang Pattaya's aggressive intrusion, without even saying a single word.
You completely resolved the crisis?
But how could things be as simple as you thought? Early the next morning, Wang Pattaya lay half dead on a hospital bed. Fuck, there's definitely something fishy going on here. I spent 2 million on that prosthetic. How could it just disappear into thin air? Immediately after, Wang Pattaya called Wang Guava. Hearing the story, Wang Guava was completely speechless. What the hell are you talking about? Ha 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 ha, Dad. It is true, my junk is gone. Seeing that Wang Pattaya was being completely serious, Wang Guava immediately drove to Zhangcheng First Hospital. After all, this was his only son. He was still counting on him to carry on the family line. After getting a detailed understanding of the whole situation, Wang Guava sharply caught a whiff of something bizarre. First, the business tycoon Shen Pomelo caught a terminal illness, but was brought back from the dead by a mysterious doctor. Then Liu Starfruit gets breast cancer, and is also successfully cured, and now his own son's fake junk inexplicably vanished right after meeting that guy named Yifan. Could it be? The joy in Wang Guava's heart was palpable, because not too long ago he had been diagnosed with liver cancer, and it was late stage. But because he had to maintain the normal operations of his publicly listed company, he kept his illness a secret. He had not even told his closest family members. These past few years he had been relying entirely on private doctors to forcefully extend his life. He knew very well this was not a long-term solution. If his condition kept worsening like this, Wang Guava's condition kept worsening like this. He was afraid he would not even live to see a grandchild. Later, after hearing that Shen Pomelo had been cured, his hope was reignited. Shen Pomelo reignited his hope. His hope was reignited. But these past few days, despite spending massive amounts of manpower and money, he had not gotten a single trace of this miracle doctor. At one point, he thought, this was God dealing a crushing blow to the Wang family. But looking at it now, he definitely was not destined to die yet. Do you know where that guy named Yifan is right now? Of course I know. Hearing this, Wang Pattaya thought his dad could not wait to get revenge for him. So he hurriedly pulled his dad into a van packed full of thugs and drove straight towards Splendid Mansion where you lived. At the same time, Shen Pomelo gave you a call because the TCM Industrial Park we co-founded was just recognized by the local government as one of the top 10 outstanding enterprises of the year. Because of this, the industrial park's stock had skyrocketed. Simultaneously, it had also sparked a massive TCM health craze online. So Shen Pomelo planned to bring Shen Papaya over to take this opportunity to formally express his gratitude for saving his life. Hearing this, you did not refuse. After all, your girlfriend was his sister's best friend. There was nothing inappropriate about it. But just as you hung up the phone, a knock came at your door. Holy crap, bro. Speak of the devil and he appears. How did he get here so fast? As soon as you opened the door, Wang Pataya aggressively rushed at you. Motherfucker, that shit yesterday. It was obvious you were behind it. If I do not make you kneel and apologize today, my last name is not Wang. Hearing this, you did not panic at all because you knew he had absolutely zero proof. How could he possibly? But just as you thought that, you realized something was wrong?
Damn it.
I never told you. How did you know? Hearing this, Wang Guava, who was standing to the side, was filled with joy. This further confirmed that the man standing before him was very likely the miracle doctor he had been desperately searching for. Right then, Wang Pataya, emboldened by his posse, stepped forward to hit you, but the next second, he froze in place. Because Wang Guava stepped up and delivered a massive ringing slap right across Wang Pataya's face. Dad, it is me, Pataya. He is the ON who bullied me, he said, not forgetting to point a finger at you. Motherfucker, you dare disrespect the miracle doctor. A beating is getting off easy. Wang Guava knew very well that this person possessed the miraculous ability to cure cancer. Mortals like them were absolutely no match for him. If the miracle doctor took action himself, his son would probably end up dead or crippled. So he figured he would discipline Wang Pataya himself first to win some favor. But what Wang Guava did not expect was that this very action would directly lead to the extermination of the Wang family. How did he find out my identity? Originally, I just wanted to teach Wang Pataya a lesson. But now, to prevent future trouble, I have no choice but to wipe out the entire Wang family. Sigh, it is just a shame about all these corpses. They are going to take up so many slots in my inventory. At this thought, you could not help but feel a pang of annoyance. Wang Guava, seeing that you did not look angry, finally relaxed. Miracle Doctor, I know. You are the legendary Miracle Doctor who cured CEO Shen. I am begging you, please help me. Kneel. Pataya has offended you in many ways, Miracle Doctor. Please be the bigger person and do not hold it against this petty fool. Please forgive him. Saying that, he grabbed Wang Pataya and forced him to kneel down as well. Then, ignoring how Wang Pataya felt about it, he dragged his son down and started kowtowing frantically. But looking at the two of them, your fury only burned hotter. Motherfucker, you dare expose my identity again in front of all these people? You are asking for death, just as you were pondering how to quietly eliminate the Wang family. X7.05421. How to quietly eliminate the Wang family. How to quietly eliminate the Wang family. The knock on the door sounded again. Unsurprisingly, it was the Shen siblings. Seeing the scene before them, the two were instantly stunned. Brother Yuzu, what is going on here? Shen Pomelo asked. He wanted to say more. But just then, Shen Papaya tugged on his sleeve, signaling him to save his words for later. As Lube, Starfruit's best friend, Shen Papaya, had naturally heard her mention this guy, Wang Pataya. Seeing the atmosphere getting weird, you figured you should get rid of the Wang father and son first. As for what happened today, I won't. But before you could finish, Wang Guava interrupted you once again. Miracle Doctor, I beg you, save me. I was diagnosed with late-stage liver cancer not long ago. I know you cured CAO Shen recently, he said, pointing at Shen Pomelo next to you. Shen Pomelo's face instantly darkened. He had just promised Yifan recently to keep his secret, and now someone else had figured out his identity. Motherfucker, is not this throwing me under the bus? You were also left completely speechless. With an AIQ like this, how the hell did Wang Guava dominate Amping County? At the same time, your resolve to eliminate the Wang family only grew stronger. This Wang family definitely could not be left alive. Otherwise, with Wang Guava's IQ, he would get you killed sooner or later. Meanwhile, Wang Pataya, still kneeling, was already dumbstruck with fear. Usually whenever he caused trouble, no matter what the problem was, his dad could handle it. But now his dad was being lectured by this guy like a dog. And what did he mean about late-stage liver cancer? He had never heard him mention it before. Hearing this, Shen Pomelo finally grasped the whole situation. So that is how it is. Even though he was a business tycoon, he was still just a mortal of flesh and blood. Facing Yifan, he could only obediently keep his mouth shut. But these two actually dared to threaten the miracle doctor to his face. They must be tired of living. You, looking at Wang Guava kneeling on the floor, really had no other choice. So you figured you would stall them for now. It was best not to blow things out of proportion. But I need to apply acupuncture first. Follow me? Hearing this, Wang Guava ignored everything else, left the kneeling Wang Pattaya behind, and trotted after you into the bedroom. After the acupuncture, you targeted the liver cancer army vanguard on Wang Guava and initiated combat. In the end, the opponent could not even survive 2 rounds before turning into X. As soon as the battle ended, Wang Guava felt an inexplicable warmth surge through his body. Is this the legendary miracle doctor? It has only been 2 minutes, and the effects are immediate.
Truly terrifying.
But only you knew that you had only cleared out a single vanguard. There was still a massive, long line of monsters waiting behind it. Curing cancer. It was never that simple.
Oh, right.
I have only temporarily relieved your pain. If you want to be fully cured later, it will require a massive amount of treatment. And remember, you absolutely must not tell anyone about today. Otherwise, you will face the consequences. Hearing this, Wang Guava nodded frantically. Do not worry, miracle doctor. Even if I die, I won't sell you out. At this moment, Wang Guava had already made you his own and only lifeline. After you managed to hustle the Wang father and son out, you walked over to Shen Pomelo. Sorry about that. That held us up a bit. Hearing this, Shen Papaya quickly stepped forward and asked, Brother Yuzu, was that Wang Pattaya?
Yeah.
I heard Liu Starfruit mention him before. Facing scumbags like that, you really should not have saved them. Hearing this, Shen Pomelo's brain straight up blue-screened. Good lord, so I am the only one completely out of the loop. Who exactly are those 2 guys? Could you guys explain it clearly? After that, Shen Papaya laid it all out, recounting every single evil deed the Wang family had committed. Motherfucker, are they even human? While furious, Shen Pomelo also realized that this was an absolute golden opportunity to score major points with you. For a figure like Shen Pomelo, even looking across the entire Dragon Country, he was a top-tier powerhouse in the business world. Crushing some small county local tyrant was something he was incredibly confident about. So he turned to you and said, Brother Yuzu, do you need me to pull some strings and get rid of him for you? Hearing this, you started to think that was actually a viable option. After all, the Wang family had numbers and power, while your individual capabilities were limited. Moreover, the most crucial thing right now was to eliminate Wang Guava quickly, before he could spread the word. After a brief moment of thought, you looked at Shen Pomelo and said, we could do that. Sure, but what plan do you have to eliminate them legally, or at least quietly? After all, in today's society, people dying will definitely cause a huge stir. If my identity gets exposed during a police investigation, the loss would outweigh the gain. Also, I want the lives of their entire Wang family. Hearing this, Shen Pomelo was stunned. Taking out those 2 guys for you is not a problem, but the whole Wang family has so many people. How am I supposed to handle all of them? But since he had already talked a big game, Brother Yuzu, let me think about it for a bit. Saying that, he started to brainstorm. It did not take long for Shen Pomelo to come up with an idea. I have got it.
Did not you say
that this Wang family oppresses the common folks all the time? So long as we can. As long as we can convince those folks to testify in court. Plus my connections. This thing is basically a done deal. Hearing this, Shen Papaya started to chime in as well. Exactly, those folks are always getting bullied. They must hate the Wang family to the core by now. In the past, because of the family's power, they had to swallow their anger. But now that my brother is willing to stick his neck out for them, they will definitely be willing to testify. But at this, you frowned. For this Wang family to dominate Anping County, they definitely have more tricks up their sleeve. 22003. They definitely have more tricks up their sleeve. They definitely have more tricks up their sleeve. 2003. They definitely have more tricks up their sleeve. The villagers might not necessarily help us. 4437. The villagers might not necessarily help us. The villagers might not necessarily help us. But right now, there really was not a better plan. Right, then you guys be careful with your operation. If there is anything you need my help with, just ask. Upon hearing your reply, Shen Pomelo confidently declared that within a month, he would definitely eradicate the entire Wang family. But how could things be as simple as he thought? The Wang family's dominance in Anping did not just rely on Wang Guava. Behind him was Mother Wang pulling the strings. This woman was a master manipulator, expert at grasping human psychology, though she always put on a friendly, amiable front. The villagers all knew that every time Wang Pattaya caused trouble, those sinister, vicious schemes were without exception Mother Wang's ideas. Usually, she and Wang Guava played good cop, bad cop, throwing the whole of Anping County into constant chaos. This woman was ruthless. Possessing both courage and cunning, her importance to the Wang family went without saying. And true to your expectations, 2720, true to your expectations. True to your expectations, barely a week had passed when Shen Pomelo called you. On the phone, Shen Pomelo explained that by the 3rd day, Relying on his connections, he had already secured a massive amount of evidence of the Wang family's crimes. As long as the villagers can testify in court, we can annihilate the entire Wang family in one swoop. And those villagers, upon hearing that a big shot was willing to stand up for them, had joyfully agreed to do so. At the time, he felt that this matter was a sure thing. He even brought in a huge number of reporters. But today, right as the court was about to be in session, all the villagers who had promised to testify suddenly backed out. They all claimed they did not know Shen Pomelo at all and had never been bullied by the Wang family. Your attacks could hit you at any moment, which meant even with 10 pets sharing the damage for you, you might not be able to defeat the opponent. By now, Shen Pomelo was already completely surrounded by reporters. Mr. Shen, did not you state earlier that the Wang family are lawless tyrants? But looking at it now, things do not seem to be the way you claimed. Some scumbag reporters who only cared about clout and had zero bottom line stepped up at this moment. I do not care if the Wang family is actually evil or not. As long as I can make the front page this time, my promotion is basically guaranteed. Faced with the aggressive reporters, Shen Pomelo was momentarily at a loss for what to do. Anping News was momentarily at a loss for what to do. Anping News, but the next second, he froze in place. What the hell is going on? Right before his eyes, the reporters, as if they had pre-planned it, vanished from his sight in an instant. They completely cleared out. That is right, you had made your move. Just moments ago, you had called Wang Guava. On the phone, you promised him that as long as he helped withdraw these reporters, you would immediately give him another treatment. Hearing this, Wang Guava gladly agreed, even though he knew you were trying to use Shen Pomelo's hands to eliminate the Wang family. Right now, whether he could even live to see tomorrow was an unknown. Sorry, honey. I really do not have any other choice. As soon as he hung up, Wang Guava called Wang Pattaya. Contact Mr. Yang at the Longhua newspaper. Tell him to pull all the reporters from the courthouse. Hearing this, Wang Pattaya froze on the spot. He knew very well that if they lost this case, the Wang family would likely be doomed beyond recovery. But why is my dad helping outsiders mess with me? It seems my cheapskate old man has definitely been brainwashed by Yifan in this world. How could there possibly be a miracle doctor who can cure cancer with 100% certainty? But on second thought, he figured maybe his dad's actions had some deeper meaning. Right now, all the reporters at the scene have already been bought off and controlled by us. If we want them back, it is just a matter of me saying the word. And as for those villagers who said they were going to testify, my mom has already taken care of them all. In this lawsuit, Shen Pomelo has absolutely zero chance of winning, so let us just play along with him for now. Following that, Wang Pattaya ordered Mr. Yang from the newspaper to withdraw the reporters from the scene. Afterward, you kept your end of the bargain and drove to the private clinic where Wang Guava was located. As soon as you walked in, you saw it on Wang Guava, a terrifying level 30 aberrant monster. Holy crap, what the fuck is that thing? Seeing an aberrant monster for the first time, you were completely dumbfounded. Then, a notification chimed in your mind. Level 30 aberrant monster. Mutated from the liver cancer army centurion. Entering combat forces you into the opponent's domain and slightly decreases all of your stats. When fighting a high-level aberrant monster, here is a chance to enter a confused state. Confused state. When fighting a high-level aberrant monster, the confused state will the damage from your attacks and your pet's attacks could reflect back onto yourself at any moment. Looking at the system description before you, you felt somewhat hesitant. What kind of power did an aberrant monster possess?
You had absolutely no idea.
Besides, taking such a risk for someone like Wang Guava, was it really worth it? Seeing your prolonged silence, Wang Guava seemed to realize his own fate. Miracle Doctor, am I truly beyond saving? Your condition has deteriorated severely. Right now, I do not have absolute confidence either. If this treatment fails, you might die in a state of extreme agony if we do not treat it.
You have about a week left.
Hearing this, Wang Guava fully accepted his fate. Then, like a man experiencing terminal lucidity, he began to recount his life story to you. At the age of 22, he successfully graduated from Kingbei University and entered society that same year. He had originally thought that with his elite education, he could easily make a name for himself, but reality dealt him a harsh blow. One day, full of ambition, he went for an interview at Longhua Tech. Longhua Tech was already quite famous in the industry at the time. The number of graduates applying was countless. But even so, Wang Guava was still very confident in himself. After all, he knew that for someone like him, coming from a poor rural town, opportunities to change his destiny were rare, and this was one of them. But to Wang Guava's shock, halfway through the interview, Wang Guava was hired on the spot. He froze, completely stunned. Interviewer. Am I really hired? Offer letter. Interviewer. Am I Really hired? Interviewer. Am I? Really hired? Do not get too excited, kid. It is true. Remember to clock in at 8 a.m. sharp tomorrow. Remember to clock in at 8 a.m. sharp tomorrow. Offer letter. I did it. I succeeded. I did it. I succeeded. But how could the inexperienced Wang Guava know that what awaited him next was an endless hell? The next day, Wang Guava arrived at work on time, but he found that in his department, there was not a single person around. Confused, he checked the time. It was definitely a work day, and the interviewer had explicitly told him yesterday to come to work today. But before he could process what was happening, a group of heavily armed law enforcement officers surrounded him. How could a fresh graduate handle a scene like this? He was instantly terrified, trembling uncontrollably. Holy crap, what is going on? Get down, hands on your head, do not move. After that, Wang Guava was sentenced to 3 years in prison for allegedly stealing corporate secrets. Only later did he learn the truth. High-level executives in the company, for a massive payout, had stolen their core source code and sold it to a competitor. But when the boss found out, he could not do anything about it because the culprit was the boss's brother-in-law. Relying on his connection to the boss, the brother-in-law constantly bullied his colleagues and used his position to extort bribes from subordinates. The boss had always turned a blind eye to it, but the theft of the source code was far beyond something he could sweep under the rug. If things went south, they would all be doing time. While furious, the boss also had to find a way out for his brother-in-law. Luckily, regarding the stolen code, no one else in the company knew about it yet. Maybe he could use tomorrow's interviews to set up a trap. And so, Wang Guava became the unlucky scapegoat. After his 3 years in prison ended, Wang Guava fully understood the cruelty of society. He swore to make those who had wronged him pay 100-fold. It was also during this time that he met the former accountant of Longhua Tech. She had been sentenced to a year for cooking the books for the boss, and this person was none other than Mother Wang Kulian. After their release, relying on their exceptional professional skills, the two made a killing in the industry and successfully acquired Longhua Tech. They also ensured the former boss paid the price he deserved. In the following years, their enterprise grew larger and larger, and their mentalities underwent a dramatic shift. The Dragon Slayer eventually becomes the dragon completely manifested in them. During an incident, Wang Guava committed a heinous crime. Thanks to Kulian pulling strings beforehand, he narrowly avoided prison. Later, to make a comeback, the two returned to Wang Guava's hometown, Anping County, relying on Wang Guava's business acumen and Kulian's ruthlessness. In just a few years, they became local tyrants who controlled everything. By now, Wang Guava was sobbing uncontrollably. It is all my fucking fault. I let down everyone in my hometown. You just stood there, silently watching him. You never expected Wang Guava to have a past like this. It is just a pity for the people of Anping County. Suddenly, Wang Guava seemed to make a major decision. He slowly turned to you and said, Ifan, the Wang family was built by my hands. It is only right that it ends by my hands as well. I can give you all the evidence of the Wang family's crimes, and I can testify in court, but I need you to promise me one thing. Hearing this, you were taken aback. You did not expect him to have the resolve to sacrifice his own flesh and blood for the greater good. It is fine, tell me. As long as it is within the bounds of the law.
I can help you.
Over the years, Patea has committed countless major offenses, but his mother always cleaned it up perfectly, so there is not much evidence left behind. Because of that, he probably won't get a very long sentence. I want you to watch over him. You must promise me. Preserve the last trace of the Wang family's bloodline for me. Miracle Doctor, hearing this,
You felt a bit helpless?
but for the sake of the bigger picture,
You agreed.
I can promise that. But if he brings destruction upon himself, there is nothing I can do. Later, you drove Wang Guava to the courthouse. Seeing Wang Guava arrive, Kulian's joy was palpable. She did not expect this old man who usually acted so mysterious to actually step up when things got critical, but it was not until the trial began that she realized Wang Guava was not there to save them at all, unsurprisingly. With mountains of ironclad evidence and Wang Guava turning state's evidence, the entire Wang family was dismantled in one swoop. Anping County finally returned to its former peace, and you and Lu Starfruit lived a shameless, peaceful life for a while. During this time, you grinded your way up to level 40. At the same time, during one of your grinds, you discovered information regarding the Primordial Ruins. The Primordial Ruins, a legendary site left behind by ancient gods where they cultivated. Cultivating inside can rapidly increase your level and grants a chance to obtain more divine secrets. Reading this, you were quite surprised. You had previously been lucky enough to obtain one divine secret. The secret mentioned that when facing aberrant monsters born from deterioration, collecting the relics of the 4 sacred beasts can neutralize the negative effects of their domain. What were the 4 sacred beasts? And how were you supposed to obtain their relics? If Wang Guava's level 30 liver cancer army Centurion had not possessed a domain, you would have been absolutely confident in defeating it. Whatever. Maybe it was just destiny. Thinking about this, you could not help but feel a tinge of regret. But what happened next forced you to embark on a journey to find the sacred beast relics. Owen Day. You went to the hospital to grind as usual, but right as you arrived, your phone rang. Brother Yuzu, where are you right now? Hurry back. Liu Starfruit suddenly fainted. It was Liu Starfruit's best friend, Shen Papaya. Hearing this, you hurriedly drove back to Splendid Mansion. What happened? She was perfectly fine when I left this morning. Shen Papaya looked at you and explained. I do not know either. Today, we were planning to practice cooking and make a big feast for you, but right as she was about to light the stove, she collapsed on the floor, completely unconscious. Without hesitation, you immediately checked the illness monster on Liu Starfruit. Aberrant breast cancer. Nation defending great general. Level 70 boss. Aberrant warlord monster. Defeating it will extend Liu Starfruit's lifespan by 10 years. Seeing this, your confidence plummeted. After all, you were only a measly level 45. Trying to take down a level 70 boss was like trying to reach the heavens. And it was an aberrant monster with an innate domain. Suddenly you remembered that divine secret. Right. Did not it say that finding the sacred beast relics could neutralize the negative effects caused by the aberrant monster? Hope flared up inside you once again. But then,
You started sweating bullets again?
but I am only level 45 right now. How the hell am I supposed to beat a level 70 boss? Whatever, you would cross that bridge when you came to it. As long as there was even a sliver of hope, you would not give up. Then, you used the suspend life for a day effect of the golden needle acupoint pierce on Liu Starfruit. Under the skill's effect, Liu Starfruit woke up. Following that, you rushed to the pharmacy to brew some chi and blood soup. After drinking it, Liu Starfruit looked noticeably better. Shen Papaya exclaimed in awe, wow, Brother Yuzu, you really are a miracle doctor. She woke up so fast, but only you knew that this was merely a temporary fix. Afterward, you called Shen Papaya out to the living room. I have to go away for a few days. You must take good care of Liu Starfruit for me. If anything happens to her, you must notify me immediately. Okay, do not worry. Even though Shen Papaya did not understand what you were up to, she agreed. Just as you were about to head out the door, out of the corner of your eye,
You spotted it again.
the level 100 stone maiden monster next to Shen Papaya.
Oh, right.
It had been so long. The sleight of hand cooldown had definitely refreshed by now. Immediately, you cast sleight of hand on the stone maiden monster,
You opened your inventory to look.
and a blinding burst of golden light erupted. Congratulations, host, you obtained the god tier skill, Nirvana Rebirth. Nirvana Rebirth. A relic left behind by the ancient sacred beast Vermilion Bird, and it is a relic of the 4 sacred beasts. It can turn decay into magic. In desperate situations, it turns decay into magic. In desperate situations, it can reverse the tide of battle. Skill description: when entering combat, it functions as a passive skill. When HP hits 0, instantly revive with full HP, and restore all statuses. Can only trigger once per battle. When used outside of combat, it functions as an active skill. Can only be used on a dying person. Forcefully extends life by 15 days and restores 30% of their life essence. Note: you can sacrifice your own lifespan to strengthen the life extending effect. Holy crap! Is not this just the Pro Max version of suspend life for a day? Also, why would a relic of the 4 sacred beasts be on the stone maiden monster? How did I get ON so easily? But right now, there was not much time for you to think. You hurriedly rushed into the bedroom and cast Nirvana Rebirth on Liu Starfruit. Instantly, a surge of nameless fire rushed toward her, followed by boundless vitality radiating from her body. In just a few moments, Liu Starfruit felt as if she had been truly reborn. What is going on? Why do I feel so much lighter suddenly? You looked at Liu Starfruit, but did not explain much. Baby, I might need to go away for a while. Make sure you take good care of yourself at home. Let Papaya keep you company for these next few days. If you feel unwell, you must tell her. Without waiting for Liu Starfruit to speak, you left the room. After all, time was life right now. Every second delayed was another moment of danger for her. Later, you drove to a private clinic. This was opened by Qin Quince's good buddy, Zhang Kiwi. It was here previously. that you had obtained the information about the primordial ruins, so you decided to come here to try your luck.
Wow, what a rare guest.
Brother Yuzu, long time no see. Seeing you arrive, Zhang Kiwi hurriedly stepped forward and greeted you warmly. You then used the excuse of wanting to learn to ask if you could hang around for a few days. Hearing this, he did not find it odd at all and let you stay. I have a lot of appointments today, so I will be pretty busy. Just wander around on your own and call me if you need anything. It is fine. You go ahead and work. If I do not understand something, I will ask you when you're done.
Right? All right.
With that, he started seeing patients while you stood off to the side, quietly observing the illness monsters on everyone. You thought Lady Luck would always be on your side, but after 5 straight days of grinding, you did not find a single special illness monster. Finally, on the 6th day, you decided to try your luck somewhere else. After saying goodbye to Zhang Kiwi, you turned to leave the clinic, but right at that moment, in the crowd, a dazzling light caught your eye. Taking a closer look, lucky monster, special illness monster, level unknown. Note, initiating combat with the lucky monster has a chance to yield a super jackpot without any surprises. After initiating combat, you easily defeated the lucky monster. Congratulations, you obtained 3.8 million XP. Level up, you are now level 51. Congratulations, you obtained a formation type skill. 5 elements Grand Array automatically activates in combat. All allied units share damage taken. Increases HP regeneration effects by 100% for all units. Congratulations, you obtained God tier item. Secret Realm Fragment X2. Secret Realm Fragment X2. Congratulations, you obtained God tier item. Secret Realm Fragment X2. Secret Realm Fragment X2. Collect 10 Secret Realm Fragments. Secret Realm Fragment X2 to open the legendary Secret Realm Primordial Ruins. Secret Realm Fragment X2 using a single fragment also has a 0.1% chance of success. Using a single fragment also has a 0.1% chance of success. Holy crap. This lucky monster was the real deal. You let out a heavy sigh. The probability of using a single fragment was pitifully low, and who knew how long it would take to collect all 10. But right now, Lu Starfruit could not hold on for that long. So should you gamble on this minuscule chance? Just yesterday, Shen Papaya had called you again on the phone. You learned that Liu Starfruit's condition had deteriorated once more. If it were not for the vermilion bird relic forcefully keeping her alive, she probably would have been dead already. Thinking about this, you hesitated no longer. You steeled your resolve and used a secret realm fragment, collecting 10 fragments. Lu Starfruit definitely could not wait that long. Might as well roll the dice. Maybe there was still a sliver of hope. Immediately the scenery before you began to shift. The fragment slowly floated into the air, emitting a strange radiant light. But the next second, you froze in place with a sharp crack. The fragment turned into fine dust and vanished before your eyes. Seeing this, your heart instantly sank to the bottom. Looking at the last remaining fragment in your hand, you seemed to make a major decision. Previously, through monster grinding, you had obtained a very bizarre item, Amplification Banner. Using it increases the success rate of any event by 1%. This item overrides all rules, can only be used once per event. Back then, you thought that a mere 1% increase was not enough to make a difference. Fuck this. Was not this just a useless piece of junk collecting dust? After tossing it into your backpack, you completely ignored it. But now, compared to the 0.1% chance of the fragment, this 1%, it is definitely a top-tier divine artifact. Without hesitation, you used the amplification banner on the fragment. But the next second, you were shocked speechless once again. At the exact moment the artifact was successfully used, the fragment began to spin in an extremely bizarre manner. Immediately after, your mind started to blur. Countless unfamiliar memory fragments instantly flooded your brain. You did not know how long this state lasted.
Fuck.
My head hurts so much.
What? What exactly is going on?
Who is this person in these images? Why do I have his memories? When you opened your eyes again, you found yourself in a vast sea of flowers. You tried hard to recall your memories from before coming here, but you could not remember a thing.
Fuck.
My head hurts so much. Could this be the legendary secret realm left behind by the gods? How did I get here? Looking at the butterflies fluttering before you, you could not help but reach out to touch them, but they simply phased right through your body. Just as you were feeling confused, an old man's voice echoed from behind you. You turned to look. Do not be afraid, young man. This is the legendary secret realm. Tell me, what do you wish to gain here? Not far away, a white-haired old man stood there calmly. After a brief moment of thought, you spoke to the old man. I want to rapidly gain immense power, so I can cure the woman I love. Hearing this, the old man sighed. You carry too many secrets on your shoulders. Do not you want to know? Why? You can see illness monsters on other people. Do not you want to know where those missing memories came from? And who they belong to? Faced with the old man's questions, you froze in place. Is not it because I am a transmigrator? And what was he talking about regarding those memories? You had indeed just felt like you had lost something extremely important. Who exactly are you? How do you know so much about me? The old man sighed again. It seems you truly remember nothing.
Very well.
I can grant you unparalleled power, but I must first verify if you can control it. Therefore, you must pass 3 trials I have set for you. Immediately, 3 cards materialized and floated before you. You were half skeptical of the old man's words, but right now you really had no other way out. With a slight shift of your will, the middle card vanished.
Oh, right.
I forgot to mention. During the trials, all of your abilities will be deactivated. Good luck! As soon as the old man finished speaking, the scenery before your eyes began to shift. Where is this? What kind of trial could be in this small room? Before you could even regain your bearings, a man wearing a pig mask walked over. Hello, challenger. Welcome to my trial. As you can see, this room is only this big, and there are no hidden spaces. The masked man then snapped his fingers, and the 2 of you were teleported outside the door. In a moment, I will place this magic pill inside the room. Find it within 15 minutes, and you pass the trial. To prevent cheating,
I will be standing right beside you, watching your every move.
are you ready? Hearing this, you faintly sensed something was off. It felt a bit strange, but you could not quite pinpoint what it was. After a brief moment of thought, a bold theory formed in your mind. Could it really be that simple? Whatever, better to play it safe.
I'm ready.
With that said, the masked man flashed into the room and placed the magic pill. Right, come in. With a wave of the masked man's hand, you were teleported inside. The timer starts now. You focused all your attention on the shelf nearby, but as the minutes and seconds ticked by, you could not even find a shadow of the magic pill. Then, you remembered that bold theory you had earlier? It seemed that was the only possibility. The magic pill is hidden on you. Hearing this, the man was initially startled, but then calmed down, as expected of the legendary chosen Owen. Solving my trial is like a game to you. Congratulations. You have passed my trial. As he spoke, he summoned a spirit that slowly floated towards you. This is the Whisper Spirit. It will assist you in the upcoming trials. With that, he vanished before your eyes. Looking at the spirit beside you, you were completely bewildered. What did he mean by chosen own? Why did it feel like everyone here knew who I was, while I was the only ON kept in the dark? Before you could think too much about it, the next second, you were teleported back to the secret realm. I did not expect you to clear the first trial so quickly. It seems you're stronger than I imagined. Of course. Without hesitation, you quickly selected the next card. The scene instantly shifted to a void like space. A chessboard floated in the center. Standing opposite the chessboard was a person wearing a golden mask. Welcome to my trial.
Challenger.
My game rules are very simple. You have 50 black pieces and 50 white pieces. When the game starts, you must place all the pieces into the bowls. How you distribute them is entirely up to you. Once you have finished distributing them, I will temporarily blind you. Then you must first choose a bowl and blindly pick a black piece from that bowl. If you successfully pick a black piece, you win. Hearing this, you realized this was not just a simple game of luck. After a moment of careful thought, I'm ready. Let us begin. Begin. You placed all the white pieces and 49 black pieces into the same bowl. Wait, you violated the rules. You must distribute the pieces into both bowls. Do not rush. I'm not finished yet. Before the masked man could finish speaking,
You cut him off?
then you picked up the final black piece and placed it in the other bowl. Done. Distributing them this way had a massive advantage. If you picked the bowl with only one black piece, you would win instantly. Black pieces 53%, black pieces 31%, black pieces 49%, white pieces 51%. And if you picked the other bowl, you still had nearly a 50% chance of drawing a black piece. Seeing this, the masked man was somewhat surprised, as expected of the chosen Owen. Truly different from the rest. Interesting. The next second, the masked man raised his arm. Suddenly, a cloud of black mist enveloped your eyes, completely stripping you of your vision. Then the masked man began shaking the bowls. A moment later, he stopped and placed the two bowls in front of you. Right, which bowl will you choose?
The own on your left or the own on your right?
Hearing this, you hesitated slightly. I will choose the left own. Ha ha ha. Even though you have some skills, it seems your luck is not very good. Hearing this, a wicked smirk crept onto your lips. Now please draw a piece from the bowl. Without hesitation, you casually grabbed 5 pieces. Are there any black pieces in my hand? You asked the masked man, but he fell silent. This? How is this possible? How could anyone's luck be this good? Since no sound came from the other side for a while, you were already certain that all 5 pieces in your hand were very likely black. Then you dropped the pieces own by own until the last own remaining in your hand was undeniably a black piece. Did I choose correctly? Ha ha ha! It seems you're even stronger than I thought. Even Lady Luck has chosen to stand by your side. Congratulations, you have successfully passed the trial. Saying that, he conjured an orb of light that surged towards the spirit beside you. The moment the spirit touched the orb, a terrifying aura erupted from it. It will grant your spirit supreme cohesion. As for what this power is used for, you will naturally find out later, before you could even speak. The masked man directly raised his hand and sent you back to the secret realm. But as soon as you returned, you froze in shock. Holy shit! What is going on? The previously fairy tale-like secret realm had now transformed into a living hell. The scorching heat surrounding you served as a constant reminder that your time was running out. Seeing this, you were completely, utterly confused. But then, you realized you absolutely could not just sit there and wait to die. However, ever since you entered the secret realm, all of your abilities had been deactivated. Right now, you had no other solutions. Just as you were plunging into despair, the Whisper Spirit popped out. Master, I can sense a massive amount of illusion in this current scene. In other words, this area is currently just an illusion. It won't cause you any actual... This extreme heat is just an illusion. If this was real, I would be roasted by now. Hearing this, you were even more bewildered. You then looked at the Whisper Spirit. Do you know anything else? How do I break this illusion? The spirit hesitated for a moment. It is not that there is not a way to break it. It is just that it requires you to sacrifice what you hold most precious in your heart. Hearing this, you flew into a rage. The most precious things in my heart. Those are my talents, artifacts, and all that. If I sacrifice them, my power will drop drastically. You should know. I came here to get stronger so I could save you, Starfruit. This Whisper Spirit is something else. As soon as you finished speaking, the old man appeared from afar. Ha ha ha, as expected of the chosen Owen.
You truly can make the right choice.
When faced with a major dilemma, do not rush. Once you pass this final trial, all mysteries will naturally be unraveled. Right then, let us get started. Hearing this, you started urging the old man. After all, every second wasted now meant another sliver of danger for Luyu Starfruit. Do not rush, young man. Time here is frozen compared to the outside world. No matter how long you stay, the outside world will remain exactly as it was when you entered. So what is this final trial? Hearing this, you breathed a sigh of relief. The old man, upon hearing your question, spoke slowly. This final trial was carefully designed by me, and I am the gatekeeper. With a wave of his hand, a table materialized out of thin air. The rules are simple. We each have a race car. There are 8 park cards here. But to your surprise, the old man actually chose the seat. Seeing this, you seriously started to ponder his motives. This old man was cunning and resourceful. If this were merely a racing game, he would not consecutively pick parts that had nothing to do with speed. There must be a hidden secret here. Then, a bold idea popped into your head. The last rule clearly states, as long as you successfully reach the finish line alive, you win. This alive part is definitely not that simple. He is picking parts completely unrelated to speed. His true motive is to intentionally fall behind, placing his car on the inner track. And for me to finish the race, I have to take the turns. The moment I turn, he can seize the opportunity, forcefully accelerate and smash into me, crushing me out of the race. If that was true, that would be absolutely terrifying. Seeing you hesitating to pick a card, the old man could not help but remind you. What is wrong, young man?
You have the only brake part.
You hold the biggest advantage? What is there to struggle with? Hearing this, you became even more certain of his true motive. Currently, only the windshield and another steering wheel card remained. Without any hesitation, you immediately chose the steering wheel. You have picked nothing but parts unrelated to speed, and I hold the most crucial steering wheels. I really can't imagine how you plan to beat me. Hearing this, the old man completely dropped his guard. That is not necessarily true, young man. This old man was cunning. Looking at his confident posture, you knew you basically had this in the bag. After finishing the selections, the two of you began modifying your cars. As expected, the old man chose the inner track. As the countdown ended, the race officially began. Now, as long as you drove normally and did not expose your true intentions, you would easily win the race. Before long, you both approached the first curve. Seeing the perfect opportunity, the old man slammed on the gas. You knew he had neither a steering wheel nor brakes. You realized this sudden acceleration was his strategy to turn the tables. He wanted to use his speed on the curve to destroy you. Without hesitation, you slammed on your brakes to dodge. Because the old man's car lacked brakes, he could not decelerate. And without a steering wheel, he could not turn. He shot straight off the track and plunged into the abyss. In the end, you completed the race without any real danger. Holy crap, that was close. Almost lost my life there. As soon as you spoke, the old man flashed into existence right in front of you. Well played, young man. I did not expect you to see through my plans so early on, and you hit it so well. Of course. Now, can you tell me everything about myself?
Oh, right.
And that unparalleled power. When are you giving it to me?